Oh, whoa, what's this? Another Pittsburgh White Schwartz deck tech?
You can
Hey guys. No.
That was good.
Hey guys, it's Andy. Back at it again with another deck tech. Today we're doing Idolmaster. One of the older sets in Weiss, but it's still pretty good in English, and I think it can really hold up against some of the more higher tier decks, per se. So anyway, real quick, if you like our content and like our deck techs, please slap like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know below if there's any other decks you'd like us to cover next.
Yeah, we're still trying to get all those out. So.
Let's just get right into it. So I'm doing blue-red Idolmaster. So it's a little different than the mono blue build that a lot of people play. So the level 0 is going to look a little bit different. So first level 0 is Uzuki. She is 3,500 power, and when you play her, you have to mill the top 2 cards of your deck. If there's a climax, she rests herself, but that's not too big of a deal. We can just put her in the back row if that happens. And then she runs to battle, so she's an interceptor. So even if she rests herself, we put her in the back, and then she can just run up to the front row to contest one of their characters next turn. And 3,500 is pretty big for level 0.
So she's like a chaser, like she can run in front of spots that your opponent is in.
Exactly, yeah, and it's also pretty nice at level 1 too. If they're going for an on-reverse combo, you can still just people seem to forget, but you can just run this in front of
something else.
Something else that's not a combo piece. And people
it's a 3,500, right? So, yeah.
Pretty big. Next level 0, we have First Step Rin. She's a pretty handy card. When you play her, when you attack with her, you get a top check. If it's a music character, you get to draw it and then discard a card. And whenever she goes to waiting room, you scry a card. So look at the top card, put it on the top or bottom of your deck.
How many trial decks do you have to buy to
get
a play set of that
this card and the next card I'm going to talk about are only one-ofs in the trial deck, so they can be a little bit difficult to come by, but they're by no means a staple. You could just replace this with another solid blue card. I mean, there's definitely other options, but I found that this one's really handy in helping set up for your level 1 combo.
Good old early trial decks.
Yeah. This one's also from the trial deck. This is even less necessary than the previous card. This is Miku with the Rubik's Cube. She is a suicider, and you can rest 2 characters to give her 2,000 power. I just wanted another solid red card to run. You can only run 4 of the Uzuki, so I just want another solid red card, and this is I could run another oversized, but I would rather have the bomb, but this is an $8 okay card from a trial deck, so it's really not a big deal if you don't have them. You could really use any red card. You have two of each Brainstormer, 2 of the Konako, and 2 Rinas. Konako is a salvage Brainstorm, rest 1 salvage, and Rina is rest 2 characters search. And the reason I'm splitting them is because a theme you're going to find with this deck is how would I put it? You kind of need to run a 1-to-1 ratio of red and blue cards in this deck. That's kind of
for your finisher, right?
It's like the deck building gimmick, and there's some really nice payoff cards you get for doing so. But we do have to be careful with how we split our reds and blues. So 2 of each, and then to round out level 0s, this is the only non-red and blue card in the deck. It's Miria. She is a Riki, so if you don't know what that means, when you play her, you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock, and then search your deck for a level 1 character and add it to your hand.
So she's true Riki.
She's the true Riki. Oh, and when she attacks, she gives a character 500 power. Notably, you can give it to herself, too, if you need to hit over a lane.
Okay, so yeah, not bad.
It's just way too important to run this to help set up our level 1 combo, so I had to make the exception and put some yellow cards in. So I think that is 16 level 0s. I don't know. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
We'll put an encore.
Yeah, I'll leave the link below. Going into level 1, if you know anything about Cinderella Girls Idolmaster, or have been playing English format for a while, then this is going to look familiar to you. This is Minami, the Minami. When you play Climax, she gets 1,500 more power, and on reverse, when you have the Climax in play, which is a blue gate, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck for a music character, add it to your hand, and then choose a character on your field and give it 2,000 more power for the turn. So these get really snowbally really quickly. because you just mill through your... If you can like get 2 or 3 of these off, you just get to mill through your whole deck. Plus, for free, it's like a costless plus, and then you're just reversing their whole field probably. Because they each give 2,000 power on reverse, so you can just set up multiple reverses even if you're a little bit weaker than them. Really, really good card, and like definitely one of the reasons to play Idol Master, and one of the cards that keeps the deck relevant.
Yeah, milling out that many cards.
And it just
really good on
it hits such a high power level too.
Yeah, it helps you get like the fact that it needs reverse, but the fact that it snowballs and you have other ways to buff in the list,
super
like
helpful.
Makes it fine.
Exactly. Then I have 2 copies of Candy Island Cherry. She's a 1/1. If you have 3 or more other music characters, she gets 1,000 more power, and she has Clock Encore. So basically 7,000 Clock Encore. A nice, probably the best red card we can run at level 1, and really helps you hold board, keep hand size up. Next we have 3 Asterisk Rena. She is a global 500 assist. You put her in the back row. And when you play the Climax, this is a double combo with the finisher of the deck. And when you play OωOver, which is the Climax that goes with this, oh whoa, you get a look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in any order. Sounds kind of weak at first glance, but believe me, it'll make sense when we get to the other half of the combo. It's actually pretty important to have this card in the deck. And then the rest of the level 1s, I have 2 more, and it's just a 2K backup. Who is this? Sei Koiyakawa. I don't even remember her from the show, but I guess she was a side character. She's a 2K backup. 2K backups are good. Now we get into the fun stuff. We have... So the main combo in this deck is a change combo at level 2. And it runs off of these 2 cards. Our Lyrics, Miku, and Rina. Which, if you've seen the show, are the subunit Asterisks, which is the idol group that this deck is based off of. Little tidbit for all you idol fans out there. But anyway... So, Our Lyrics Miku, when you play her, you can discard a card from your hand to bond to this. So, when you play her, you can get this card into your hand. And then, when you have both of these cards on the field, you can pay 1, send both of them to memory to take this card from your waiting room and put it on your field. And she is the finisher of the deck. And when she enters the field, she grabs her own Climax too, which is super cool. So, it's kind of funny. You can, from just 1 card, you can set up your whole finisher at level 2. You play this, it bonds to this. You sack these, get this from your waiting room, which then gets you this from your waiting room. So it...
As long as you're milling out, right?
Yeah, as long as you have, like, this Miku, you can just get the whole combo chain. Super easy. I mean, these cards aren't really that good to, like, actually apply pressure with and beat down with in general, but the whole goal is just to change into the level 3, so...
So other than their bond effects...
They really aren't that useful otherwise. You can early play this at level 1 if you have 2 red and 2 blue characters, but in all the time I've played the deck, I don't think I've ever done it. Especially since you're kind of like... You try to clock this card, or I like to try to clock this card and the level 3, just to get those into my waiting room. They're really good cards to clock with, because you just get them back for free. So, these are our main characters at level 2. Here's the other reason to play the deck, and the thing that makes this build powerful. We have Mismatched Pair, which is a 2/3 tap counter. So, if you have 2 red and 2 blue characters on your field, it is a counter that lets you rest one of your opponent's characters. This is probably the most powerful, most efficient tap counter we have in English.
There's Priscilla's 5 stock.
Yeah, like any other effect that gives you a tap counter is going to be 4 or 5 stock and play at level 3. This is, you can do it level 2 and it's only 3 stock. So even after your finisher turn, you'll have 3 stock to use this, which is super handy. But you do need to have 2 red and 2 blue characters on your field. So it can be a little challenging to set up, but it's really not too bad.
And a lot of people forget that Idolmaster
people don't know this card exists.
Yeah.
Most people who play Idolmaster play the mono blue build, but
we hate Ranko here.
Yeah, I found that I really like the blue-red version a lot better. And this is definitely a payoff card for going into that. And people just don't know this card exists, and you can really
people in English also generally just don't play around tap counter because they like forget it exists.
Yeah, and this is one of the best ones we have. And then I have one more level 2. This is just a little utility card. My first star, Ranko. She is a level assist to all your characters in front of her. And when you play a climax, you get to look at the top card of your deck and either put it on top or in the waiting room, I think. Top or bottom of your deck, and give 500 more power.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is back when color identity meant something.
Yeah, and I don't know. You could change this for anything you want, really, but I kind of like having the assist in the back row to help keep our early play alive. And the extra filter effect's really nice to set up the combo, too, which I will explain right now, getting into level 3s. So, here's Miku again. She's back. The best idol in the show. So when she enters your field from your hand or from the change effect from the level 2, she gets her climax back. Super handy. It just kind of lets you play out the game very organically. You don't really need to like hold climaxes through refresh. You don't need to be worried that, oh, I can't play this climax now, even though it would be a really good turn to play it, because you can just get it back whenever. So the deck flows really well, I think, because of that effect. But the actual climax combo is, when you attack with her, you pay 1, and you mill the top 2 cards of your deck when you attack. And you get an effect that applies if you hit a red character or if you hit a blue character. And if you hit both colors, you get both effects. That's why the top check effects from the other half of the combo is really important, because it lets you make sure that you mill a red and a blue card every time. And yeah, when you mill a red card, you deal 1 damage to your opponent, and if you mill a blue card, she gets 2,000 power till the end of your opponent's turn, and the character across from her gets minus a soul. So, I don't know. It's the 2,000 extra power is really nice for helping her live back to your turn, especially if you're early playing it. But I think it's more important to try to set up a red card. You at least want to hit a red card with this. The burn one feels kind of bad when you miss with it. But you do have a lot of manipulation of the top card of your deck, so you're probably not going to miss that often. And then I only have a couple other level 3s in here. 1 Anzu and 1 Kaide. Anzu is an early play if you have 5 or less cards in your deck and she heals you. So she's kind of bad.
But she's a heal.
It's kind of like a really old school, not very good early play condition, so that's why I only have 1 of her, but
if you need a heal.
It's just so easy to get the Mikus that, I mean, usually I don't find myself needing this card. And then the Kaide is, if she's in your middle position, she gets 4,000 extra power, I think. She gets 1,000 power for each of your other music characters. So if she's in your middle spot, she should be at 14,000. And on your opponent's turn, when you don't cancel damage, you get to look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or in the waiting room. So I really like these type of effects, especially in the English metagame, where there's a lot of like Attack on Titan, Bang Dream, decks that will, their finishing combo has you burn small instances of damage multiple times, and this card's really good against them. Wish the deck had a standby to pull it out, but it's still pretty good. In the matchups where you need it, you can get it. And then, yeah, just the climaxes. 4 Blue Gate, 4 Red Stock Soul. Anything else you think I should touch on that I might have missed?
I don't know. I think I
was pretty concise and.
I feel like the Zero game, the Chaser's like so good. Like I guess are the mono blue builds running the Chaser, the Uzuki Chaser?
No, that's something they don't run. And like one of the things you give up playing this build over the mono blue build is the level 0 game. There's some good cards that we can't really run in here. Particularly, there's a Rin Akatsuki.
Yeah,
it's on play, discard a card, look at the top 4 for a blue character.
I know you were trying to run that.
It's just
originally, and it just doesn't work.
There's also a yellow Mill Runner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you really need to make sure you hit red and blue in this deck for both the tap counter and the finisher. So
I feel like chasers are super underrated in general. Like, people are gonna, like, everybody's afraid of the new Goblin Slayer one that's gonna come, but I think Uzuki's pretty good too. She hits 3,500 on her own.
She does what she needs to do. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, throw down below if you want what deck you want to see next, and tell us who your favorite Idol Master character is and why it's Miku. Thanks for watching, guys.